What's good, everybody? It's your boy Desmond back out here in the cave. Time for LFT Unloaded. And today we're talking about trigger finger discipline and muzzle awareness. This is something that I go over in class when I talk about the 4 safety rules. So let's jump into it. So trigger finger discipline. What do I mean when I talk about trigger finger discipline? For this, I'm going to use my handy dandy Glock 19 here, my Stormtrooper Glock. Look at this. Yes, it is a custom with that Radiant ramjet. It's verified, safe, and clear. No magazine inserted. Firearm is safe and clear, and I do have a empty magazine. So trigger finger discipline. A lot of new shooters, first thing they do when they want to pick up a gun, put their finger on the goddamn trigger. No, keep your finger straight and outside that trigger guard until you intend to fire. Now, a lot of instructors teach this a couple different ways. Some people say keep your finger in contact with the frame of the firearm, or in contact with the slide of the firearm, or even in contact with the ejection port. That's all great and fine and dandy, but do not put your finger inside this trigger guard until you are ready to fire. All right, so whichever way is perfectly fine, but you do not put your finger inside this trigger guard until you are ready to fire. This gun is not going to go off unless you press the trigger, or unless you have one of those other firearms that you may have seen in the media recently. I'm not going to say any names for sake, but I digress. But keeping your finger straight and off the trigger is the best thing to do to not have that firearm go off inadvertently if we don't want it to go off. I can do everything I need to do without putting my finger on the trigger. I can load my magazine. My finger stays off the trigger. I can rack my slide. Finger stays off the trigger. Line up my sights. Okay, I'm ready. I got him. There's the bad guy. Bang, 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 bang. No more bad guy. Finger comes off the trigger. I need to take my magazine out. Finger still off the trigger, lock that slide to the rear. Look at that, did all that, keeping my finger straight and off the trigger. Keep that finger straight and off the trigger. Regardless of what you may have seen in the past, Alec Baldwin guns do not magically go off by themselves. Again, unless it's one of those other ones. Sick. Keep your finger straight and off the trigger until you intend to fire. Next, let's talk about muzzle awareness. Being aware of where you point your gun. Keep your firearm pointed in a safe direction. If safe direction is downrange, that is where your gun needs to be pointed. Do you have your gun pointed in somebody's face? This does not need a gun pointed in their face, all right? Be aware of where you're pointing that gun. So even though I verified this firearm is safe and clear, I don't get all willy-nilly with my gun and start waving it around, pointing at my cat, my dog, my sister, my brother, my ex-husband, ex-wife, ex-girlfriend, little bad kids running around. Do not point it at anything that does not need a hole in it. Keep it pointed in a safe direction. The way I think about it, I point it in a direction that if it was to go off, it'll cause the least amount of damage. Keep it pointed at the ground, all right? If it was to go off, I got a round going to the ground, not in the back of somebody, right? So keep it pointed in a safe direction. That is your muzzle awareness. Be aware of where you're pointing your gun. Some people, they have a tendency when they're racking the slide to the rear or trying to lock the slide to the rear, they do this little tuck thing. That's fine, but what's over there? I've seen videos of people doing this and then not practicing all the safety rules, finger on the trigger, doing this thing, and then a round goes off, all right? Do not end up on a Reddit post or daggone an Instagram reel or being reposted all over the goddamn internet that I have to use you in class as an example of what not to do, all right? Use those safety rules, keeping your finger straight and off the trigger until you intend to fire, and being aware of where you're pointing your gun. So those are just two of the things that I like to talk about in my class when I go over the 4 safety rules. Let's talk about those 4 safety rules. Treat every firearm as if it was loaded. Never point your firearm at anything you're not intending to shoot. Keep your finger straight and off the trigger until you intend to fire, and know your target and what's beyond it. This is Desmond, Legacy Firearms Training, LFT Unloaded, trigger finger discipline, muzzle awareness. Don't just own a firearm, become more proficient with your firearm. Keep training, stay safe.